Princess, please read the full story. This is a completed ancient romance novel with a 9.9 rating. Blessings to the princess. Lose 15 pounds. Blessings to the princess. Get rich every year. Connect to Wi-Fi. Get your potato chips ready. Willow Willow reminds you. The main text begins. I was the eldest daughter in my family. My parents named me Lily. As long as I could remember, I had never eaten a full meal. I never owned a new piece of clothing or shoes. Now, even having a pair of straw sandals felt like a luxury. In the main room, the matchmaker was discussing my marriage with my parents. Mr. Harrison has heard about your Lily, she announced. Your Lily is truly blessed. Marrying him will mean a life of plenty. What if he's a bit older? Older men are more doting. Mr. Harrison is a learned man. If Lily can have a few children, that would be a great blessing indeed. His 3 previous wives all passed away, my mother murmured, her voice laced with worry. Oh, that was their ill fortune. The matchmaker quickly dismissed. The old lady, Mr. Harrison, has already stated the betrothal gift will be $5 silver, and provisions like grain and fabric are also included. The matchmaker's voice was booming, but my parents remained silent. I knew their hearts were stirred, and so was mine. To be offered $5 silver for a girl like me, I would go through fire and water for that. As the matchmaker left, she slapped me on the backside. Look at those hips, clearly a good childbearer. I wasn't sure if my suntanned face changed color, but the burning sensation on my cheeks was real. My parents called me inside. What do you think? They asked. Their eyes were filled with expectation and barely concealed joy. Could I refuse? No. If I married, my 2 older brothers would have money for their own wives. Sacrificing one to get 2, even I knew how to choose, let alone mom and dad. Besides, compared to other girls in the village who were often beaten and cursed, my parents even asked for my opinion. I should be content. Mom, Dad, I'm willing, I said. Mom kept wiping her tears. Dad praised me a few times. Just like that, the marriage was settled. On the day of the betrothal, I saw Mr. Harrison. Thinking he was my future husband, I gathered my courage and looked at him. He was tall and slender, with a short beard, dressed in fine satin clothes, smiling as he looked at me. My face flushed hot, my heart pounded, and I turned and ran. While cooking, I almost cut my finger several times, drawing teasing remarks from the women helping. They asked if I was satisfied. I was extremely satisfied. He and we, simple country folk, were not from the same world. We toiled in the fields from dawn till dusk all year, yet couldn't even fill our bellies. He, however, could wear satin clothes. One was heaven, one was earth. What did age matter? What did it matter that he'd had 3 wives pass away? I even prepared myself for him to have concubines. Mom and Dad told me to find a chance to speak with him, to get to know him, but standing before him, I couldn't say a word. You're Lily? He asked. I nodded, staring at my shoelaces. My name is Andrew Harrison, he said. Lily, look up. I mustered my courage and looked up at him, trembling with nervousness. Was dinner prepared by you today? I nodded. It's very good, he said, pleased by the compliment. My heart swelled. I can cook for you every day from now on, I offered. He chuckled. There are maids and housekeepers at home. You'll be a lady once you marry into my family. You'll only need to take care of me, honor my parents, and bear many children. This completely defied my understanding. Maids and housekeepers? That meant no more laundry or cooking? I only needed to have children? I nodded blankly, as if I'd been hit over the head with good fortune. He took my hand and slipped a gold bracelet onto my wrist. This is for you, he said. The bracelet wasn't heavy, but I felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. As he started to leave, I anxiously grabbed his sleeve. Stammering, unable to speak, he patted my hand, said nothing, pulled his sleeve free, and left. It all felt like a dream. Unreal. My sisters-in-law were envious, wishing they could pull the bracelet off my wrist and wear it themselves. Mom told me to take the bracelet off and let her keep it for me, but I refused. I told her. He said this was for me. It's different from the betrothal gift. It's mine. My dowry was meager, just a wooden chest. The wedding dress was provided by the Harrison family. Mom mentioned she planned to give me 100 pennies as bottom of the chest money. It wasn't that I was foolish or ungrateful. My parents struggled to raise me, and I had 7 younger siblings. I couldn't bring myself to demand more money from them or threaten to harm myself. Mom, it's not that I don't want to give you this gold bracelet, but he said it was for me when he gave it. I explained. What would happen if I didn't wear it when I married into their family? I know our family is struggling, and it's hard for you and Dad, but don't worry, Mom, even after I marry, I'll still think of home, though I haven't learned to read or write, and I lack experience. I understand these simple principles. This might be the Harrison family testing me, to see if I'd be solely focused on my own family. After that, Mom never again suggested keeping the gold bracelet for me. Many relatives and neighbors were green with envy that I was marrying into the wealthy Harrison family. My uncle's family, whose relationship with us wasn't good, seemed to want nothing more than to drag us through the mud. Your aunt, didn't you hear? My aunt whispered, her voice barely audible, clearly intending for me to overhear. How did those 3 Harrison wives die? They say they were beaten to death. My heart tightened in the room. Would he hit me? He didn't look like it. But who would write "I beat my wife" or "I'm not a good man" on their face? Sister-in-law. I heard that Mr. Harrison can't have children, a booming voice added, making me utterly flustered. If Andrew Harrison really couldn't have children, I could already foresee decades of misery ahead. My goodness, I shivered all over with cold. I didn't know what Mom said. I just sat on the bench, dazed. Lily, don't listen to your aunt, Mom said. She just wishes you wouldn't marry into the Harrison family. I remained indifferent. I had always wondered why the Harrison family chose me. Country girls, toiling in the fields from dawn till dusk, with endless farm work and chores, rarely looked fair and pretty. Maybe it was because my mother was fertile. After all, she bore 10 children. What if I was especially fertile too? But men also needed to be pleased. I asked Mom for some willow branches and made a willow-scented sachet for Andrew Harrison. Andrew Harrison came again 2 days later. He brought me pastries. This for your hands, this for your face, morning and night, he instructed. I nodded gently. His hands were indeed much softer than mine, and he was fairer-skinned. When I handed him the willow sachet, he visibly brightened. You made this specially for me? I nodded. It's not like the embroidered ones sold in stores. I added softly. I really like it, I whispered. Andrew Harrison took it and immediately replaced his old one. He also handed me a few silver coins. I shook my head. Actually, I desperately wanted them. I had never touched silver coins in my life. Even my betrothal gift of $5 silver I hadn't touched. He took my hand and pressed the coins into it. I know your family's situation, he said. It's hard for them to prepare a proper dowry for you. Take this money, buy a few yards of fabric, make 2 new dresses, and get some candy and meat. Build yourself up. I was reluctant to let the silver go. I'll make you a pair of shoes, I offered. And for your parents too. Andrew Harrison seemed even more pleased. All right, I'll give you their sizes, he said. When he left, I saw him off to the village entrance, watching him ride away in his buggy. I then went to Mrs. Davis, the school teacher's wife. She took me to town to buy fabric. When my parents learned Andrew Harrison had given me money, they subtly hinted for me to give them some. I only said I needed to buy fabric first. After returning from town, I told them I had spent it all. In truth, I still had half left. Dad didn't say much, but Mom complained about my extravagant spending. Never mind the fabric. Why did you buy candy and meat? I wanted to buy something to show respect to Dad. I never mentioned that Andrew Harrison told me to buy those things. Candy and meat were good for nourishing the body. After I made him and Dad new clothes and a pair of shoes each, Dad averted his eyes and never again said I wasted money. Before the wedding, Andrew Harrison visited twice more, bringing meat, candy, and face cream. If he was willing to give it to me, I was willing to use it. My aunt definitely thought he was feeling guilty because he couldn't have children, and he was trying to trick me into marrying into the Harrison family. I didn't care. The Harrison home was the best place for me. On my wedding day, Mom cried even harder than I did. I knew she was happy that I was marrying well. My older brothers' marriages would be easily arranged now. The date was set, and we just waited for their wives to move in. After the ceremony, I was led into the bridal chamber. The room smelled fragrant and was very clean. I sat on the edge of the bed, waiting for Andrew Harrison to lift my veil and share the ceremonial wine. When the veil was lifted, I looked at him, and he looked at me. I could see his joy. After we drank the wine, he said, "Tonight, my friends will be having some wedding night games. Don't be afraid." I replied. What was there to be afraid of? They wouldn't eat me. My mother will send you food soon, he added. I nodded. As he started to leave, I pulled on his sleeve. Should I call your mother or ma? I asked hesitantly. He let out a muffled laugh, then squeezed my hand a few times before leaving. I looked at my reddened hand, my cheeks flushing, and my mind started to wander. When his mother came in, I hesitated before calling her mother. This was the first time I met her. I had even prepared myself for her to be a wicked mother-in-law, someone who would scold me and make me work hard and eat little. "Come eat," she said, her voice very gentle. She brought red dates, peanuts, and lotus seeds, stewed, with 2 peeled hard-boiled eggs. As I held the bowl, I noticed everything inside was in pairs. After I finished eating, she took the bowl out, without warning me about future expectations. I thought that was my lunch. Then, a few of my new sisters-in-law came in, laughing, and urged me to eat again. Each dish had only 2 mouthfuls. As I ate, I thought, how particular. The people playing wedding games were even more particular. They spoke very formally. They made us play 2 small games and had Andrew Harrison recite a few poems I didn't understand. After a burst of laughter, they left the bridal chamber. What made me even more nervous was when Andrew Harrison held my hand, rubbing and kneading it. Could it be that he really can't perform? He told me to bathe. I wanted to say I had washed last night, but then I remembered he was a city person and particular, so I didn't. I never dreamed that in the city, even bathwater would be prepared for you, along with special bath salts and fragrant hair oils. In the countryside, I only ever used regular lye soap. When I came out after bathing, my hair still damp, Andrew Harrison seemed impatient. He picked me up and carried me to the bed. The first time, it hurt, and he didn't seem to be entirely comfortable either, but I knew he could perform. He wasn't impotent. The second time, he was much gentler, and I also realized he liked kissing me a lot. I actually liked him kissing me too. The next day, I woke up early, my back aching, but I knew I couldn't be delicate, so I planned to get up and make breakfast. "There are servants in the house, you don't need to," he said, "but today is different." I insisted. "I won't make much." He didn't object, but when I tried to get out of bed, my legs were weak and I couldn't stand, nearly collapsing. Thankfully, Andrew Harrison caught me, or I would have fallen flat on my face. Fearing he would dislike me for being weak, I quickly explained, "I'm not usually like this." He suddenly laughed, pulled me back onto the bed, and then kissed me fiercely. He said, "Lily, you truly are a precious girl, invaluable." This was the first time in my 16 years that anyone had called me Lily or said I was precious. I didn't know how long this feeling of being precious would last. I just wanted to make myself more precious, or rather, to be precious for longer. "Husband, can you write Lily for me and give it to me?" "Of course," he said. He behaved like a giddy schoolboy, getting out of bed and going to the study next door. I wanted to get up, but my body felt like jelly. Realizing why, I decided not to move. He returned quickly, holding a piece of red paper. "Come, Lily," he said, reaching out to me. I reached for his hand, and he pulled me up, embracing me. I stiffened for a moment, then immediately relaxed. He was my husband. "Lily, this is yours," he said,